little bit of good news. My anorexia is in complete remission. You know, it's good to be here tonight. I know that's like a standard open. I mean, how many times have we heard it? But I mean, I just got the news that I was due on today. So I used my one phone call to call my friends and say, look, I really need some bail. I've got a slot tonight. And as long as we're out of here by 10, I won't break curfew and it should all be pretty good. I know what you're thinking, you know, okay, yeah. I mean, he already did the Chris Hansen jokes. I know I kind of look like the guy at the other end of that scenario. You know, the 350-pound guy who drove 350 miles wearing a one-piece leopard print body stocking with codpiece. And I was thinking about the codpiece, I mean, because does it diminish the male camel toe? I don't know. Anyway, the guy who shows up there with half a bottle of Everclear, a couple zip ties, some duct tape, lube, and I just say, hey, look, we were just going to talk. It's not a creepy guy. It happens this way. I have one of the top 3 creepy jobs. As I define them, tattoo artist, cab driver, full sedation dentist. I mean, come on, man. You're waking up, your hair's a little mussed, the buttons aren't quite fitting right, you're vaguely satisfied. The dentist is stabbing out a cigarette, looking at you like, oh, you're back up. Oh, good. Nice to see. You know, I mean, it's not my fault, or maybe it is. I mean, okay, so the reason I was in jail was because I got a little overboard at my niece's birthday party, so you're not supposed to pole dance at a 9-year-old's birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. It happens. And when you're 350 pounds and 52 years old, if that pole isn't well secured top and bottom, hilarity can ensue. I'm still working on the, on the lifetime ban. Because the one thing I've learned is that when you're banned from Chuck E. Cheese for lifetime, you know, your career as a birthday party clown is definitely, hitting the skids. Like a lot of folks, especially a lot of folks like me, I lived at my parents' house way, way, way too long. It didn't come to an end until Social Security realized that checks were being forged, and then the police showed up to dig up the backyard, or as I call it, the garden. They didn't find anything except some handcuffs and an old bloody clown suit which doesn't fit anymore.
You're sick.
You know, but I mean, working in this town as a cabbie, I always get this question. Oh, is this cash cab? Is this taxi cab confessions? It's like, no. The cab is wired for video, but it has nothing to do with either of those two shows. What's that thumping in the back? Well, that's someone who's never going to sell a watchtower in my neighborhood ever again. Next question. Hey, what's the hottest, craziest thing that's ever happened to you? Which really is that sort of question that, have chicks got into your car and done all sorts of wild sexual things like pop their tops. And it's like, look, I realize that I'm an aged 320-pound seething volcano of male sexuality. And I often incite that sort of response in people, but unfortunately the answer is no. About the worst thing, or maybe the best, that ever happened was some frat boys having a fart contest. Yeah, come on, it's Ann Arbor. I gotta do a frat boy joke at least once. Yeah, again, it's kind of strange. I grew up in this area. I'm from Ann Arbor, but my parents were from Ypsilanti. I'm kind of a mixed marriage. Dad was German. Mom was a hillbilly. They knew how to use firearms, daggers. Mom, what do you want for your birthday? Oh, I'd like to be a widow. But she wasn't the most homicidal of all of them. My cousin, who had 4 husbands, she only shot 2 of them. True story. One worse than the other. And the last one finally, was just the meanest bastard that she'd ever met. And the man finally up and died. But she was good to him. She had him cremated. She put those cremains in a little box, put them right on top of the fireplace. And when she died, in her will, and at her request, that box was placed in the casket with her, at her feet and between my legs, the only place the sumbitch ever did me any good. And I remember lowering him in there, saying, here you go, Bob. Yeah, till death do us part? Oh, no, she got you for a long, long, long time. Well, listen, folks, I think my time is up. Thank you very much, and you have a good night.
All right.
Jason Grant, everybody, let him hear it. I was at that Chuck E. Cheese. It's horrible. Give it up for your first lady of the evening, Layla, everybody. Layla, let's hear it for her. Oh, she's coming.
I just decided I'm not gonna start until you look, every person is in this room has to look to their left and tell that person